Hey, welcome to the shop. So I bought something interesting this week. It's a miniature chop saw. It has a 7-inch blade. It's a Trajan Q700. And I was surprised how quickly it showed up. Now, you might kind of wonder, what do you want with a little saw like this? Well, you know, I have mixed feelings about this. On the one hand, I'm thinking, I wonder, like, is this gonna be, you know, a real tool? Like, is this gonna be able to do the job that I need over and over again? Because a little saw like this kind of looks like a toy. But on the other hand, if it does, this could be so nice for so many things. Because most of the tubing work I do is honestly 2 inches in diameter for round, or 2-inch square tubing, or smaller, more commonly 1 inch. And so if I would be able to make those cuts with something that I can pick up just this easily and carry around, take with me in my shop, and if it would really, you know, perform, then that would be so handy and so nice to just grab it, put it where I need it, make a few cuts and put it away. Put it right, you know, on the tailgate of my truck if I need to. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and try this out. We'll test it out to see how accurate it is, how fast it'll cut, what it feels like, quality of construction. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing here on this saw is this cast and machined base, which actually looks really nice. And then it has a clamp right here with a nice little grip. You can grab it with both hands. You can loosen the nut up and drag it out to clamp your material in place. You know, overall it seems pretty good. Okay, so to change angles on the fence, it has this little nut here that you can loosen up and move it around. Now, I don't see a tick mark that aligns with the protractor that's on here. So I think you're kind of going off of, you know, projecting this line over, which might be hard, but it looks like, you know, 0 degrees and 45 degrees are the end stops. So if that's the case, then you're set for the most common ones, and you can dial it in with a protractor otherwise. So anyway, you can just lock that in place. I'm gonna put it all the way at the end stop. There, you gotta kind of mess with this a little bit, but that's okay. Anyway, there, it's locked in place. Now let's see, what is this? This looks like, so right there is a little lock to keep it shut so you can carry it around. That's pretty nice. So it's just a little button there, push in and out. Here it has a blade lock, or a spindle lock, so you can keep the blade from rotating when you change it. Okay, so the handle here is really nice. It's coated in rubber. It's got a good grip with your whole hand. And the trigger, you can pull, it's really big, it fits about 3 fingers. Okay, then there's also this, it looks like maybe a safety button on the bottom. Let's plug it in and see what that does. Okay, so yeah, that's a safety button. You pull that and it won't go, but you push the button first and then... Okay, so it spins right up. It looks like there's a port here to replace brushes if you need to in the future. So it has a toothed blade instead of an abrasive blade like a lot of chop saws used to have and still do on the less expensive models. Which should be pretty nice. So let's give it a try. Make our first cut on this 1-inch square tubing, and we'll do 1 cut straight and 1 cut with this set all the way over at 45 degrees and see how close we get. Okay, so that ripped right through there, and it looks like it didn't leave much of a burr, and the material is not warm or not hot at all, which is totally different than an abrasive saw. The overall finish on the cut is pretty good. Little burr right there, but overall not a bad cut. Let's see how square it is. So it looks like in this direction it's off by a couple of degrees, which may just be how I have the fence set. Over here, it's pretty much right on. So So that's really pretty good. Okay, so I adjusted it by a couple degrees here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just make one more cut and see if I can't get it a little bit closer. Okay, so that's definitely better than it was before. You know, we're within a degree, and for most steel tubing work, that's not going to leave much of a gap, so you should be just fine. The next thing I'm going to try is making a 45-degree cut here, and you know, honestly, this little protractor that I have fits on here just about perfectly, so I'm going to see if I can't use that to dial in my angle. That could be a pretty good little combo here. So I've got that set. It's reading 45.3 degrees. Should be close enough. Let's give it a try and see what we get. Oops. So one thing I am noticing as I clamp material in is it rocks back just a little bit against that stop. So to lift the front edge up, probably not too big of a deal though. Okay, so that cut looks pretty nice right there. Again, just a little bit of burr up on there, but look, I can just grab it and it's not hot at all and cut through nice and quickly. Let's go ahead and check this angle and see how close we got it. Okay, so this looks like we got it, you know, pretty close. Definitely good enough for fabrication needs for most small tubing things. So I think I really like it so far for the 1-inch tubing. I want to go ahead and try it with something a little bit beefier and see how it'll hold up to some 2-inch tubing with 1/8 inch thick wall. That's crazy, I can just touch it like that right after. I mean, I don't know, that's pretty cool. Even with my bandsaw, I'm getting a bit more heat. So you can see right there all those chips coming off of there, kind of blue, so they're definitely carrying the heat away. Anyway, but if you look at that cut, I mean, that's a pretty nice saw cut there. Again, just a tiniest little burr. That'll be easy to knock off. I mean, I'm liking this thing right now. So again, angle's pretty good that direction. Let's look this way. Oh man, either that's good or lucky. I'll take either one. Okay, so I just grabbed a piece of 3/4 inch aluminum bar, round bar, and just kind of see how it does with this aluminum. Again, just a nice cut on there, hardly any burr. And it's ice cold, I can touch it no problem. I don't know, by now I'm thinking this little saw is pretty nice. Let me wrap up by just talking about a few of the pros and cons of this saw. So first off, some of the things I loved about the construction of this saw is the handle here. It feels really nice on your hand. I like how you can go and just lock the blade down just that easily, and you can pick it up and carry it around. I mean, that thing is so easy, nice and portable. I liked the cast table with the machined surface. It's really good, a lot better than like a stamped sheet metal piece that you'll see on some chop saws. The clamp here with the nut that flips over so you can loosen it and tighten it quickly was a really nice feature. I was impressed with how well the blade would cut through, even this 2-inch tubing with a 1/8 wall, which is, you know, pretty good size. So on this end I've got a bandsaw cut, and this end I've got the cut from this saw, and I definitely like this cut a little bit better than my bandsaw. And another thing that's nice about this type of a saw, whether it's this size or a larger one, is I feel like you get a more consistent angle. With my horizontal bandsaw, I feel like I'm always messing with it to get the blade to cut down straight and not stray off the side a little bit. So if anyone has any tips for that, let me know. A couple of limitations with this saw. One is just the overall size, right? This 2-inch tubing, that was pretty much as far as you're gonna go with a blade that diameter. And you'll be even further limited if you're cutting at an angle on the size of tubing that you can do. Now, setting the size of the saw aside, a couple of things that I would have liked to see on this saw that might make it just a little bit better. One would be a blade break, because this thing runs for quite a while. It keeps spinning after you cut, and you know, that's really not too big of a problem. It just keeps making a little bit of noise. The second thing would be a line to be able to set your angle a little bit easier. Now, I found that my protractor, my digital protractor, fit right on it, and that's probably what I'll use, but I could also scribe a line on there and fix that problem myself. Okay, so that's really all that I could find to complain about on this thing, and that's getting pretty picky. So I really like it. I think I'm going to use it quite a bit. It's handy that I can just pick it up, and even I pick up some steel on my trailer, I can just put this right on the back of the trailer with my cutlass, and as I slide the material off, just cut it to length right there, make my pile, and I'm ready to go. So I'm excited about it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't tuned in before, my name's Tim. I'm a welding engineer with a side hustle shop, and that's where I make these videos from. So if you want to learn more about welding and fabrication, go ahead and click that subscribe now, and we'll see you next time.